Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa, and we need to talk about Orisa because Orisa is a hero which is driving me slightly crazy, and I think she's driving Blizzard crazy as well. What they've done to it is they've changed her on the PTR. Now you're watching PTR footage in the background here, ladies and gentlemen, and what we have got here is an Orisa which can deploy a 900 HP barrier every 8 seconds, okay? It used to be 12, now it's 8. They've also reduced the damage output that she's got. Now you will remember, ladies and gentlemen, I made videos in the past where I spoke about Orisa and I said, look, I've got a major issue with the amount of damage Orisa does compared, I can't even say a goddamn name, compared to the amount of damage that she absorbs. It should not be equal because that gives her a pretty distinct advantage compared to other anchor tanks, much like Mr. Reinhardt. Also, another problem is the whole barrier wars kind of meta, barrier watch as I call it. Again, I did a video on this and I said we could be in danger of going into that kind of meta. But why didn't that happen? What happened with all of the barriers? Well, since that video, Winston had his barrier buffed, so Winston can drop his barrier more often now, which obviously is a good change for Winston, gives him more survivability. But the big main key one here is Reinhardt, and I am fairly sure what they were trying to do with Orisa, well, we know, I'm 100% sure what they were trying to do with Orisa is bring out a hero which is capable of taking on Reinhardt for that anchor tank role. That's what they even called her. They called her Anchorer internally, according to the leaks that we got hold of. That Jeff calls her an anchor tank in the announcement video for the hero. She's designed to hold choke points down. So what has gone wrong? Why don't you see Orisa holding choke points down all over the game? You still see Reinhardt. What's the problem? Well, the thing is, Reinhardt has a 2000 HP barrier that he can move around and he can deploy extremely fast and he can be there in the fight. Now, you look at Reinhardt's skill set, right? Reinhardt is a close combat hero. Smashes your face in with the hammer, right? He's got the fire strike for a bit of long range engage, and he's got the charge to pin you against the wall, kill you, and also open opportunities for his team. So he can become very offensive and very defensive. He can swap between this. Also, a 2000 HP barrier is absolutely amazing. That conveniently blocks almost most chokes in the game, which is awesome. This is why Reinhardt is so good. Now, you know me. I like Reinhardt. Reinhardt is the character that I've played the most in this game, and I've played him to a high level as well. You know, we're talking into Grandmasters with Reinhardt. Now, why don't I play Orisa? You think I would be the perfect candidate for this hero, to pick her up and just, you know, start playing Orisa, because she's supposed to be the same sort of hero, but I didn't. It's because Orisa has a massive load of problems with all of her skills. It's okay, Blizzard increasing the amount she can drop her barrier to make her a little bit more competitive with actually absorbing damage like Reinhardt, but reducing her damage means that she just loses that kind of potency. You have to compare Orisa to the other tanks. I don't think she's actually, well, she's not a main tank. I think she was meant to be. I think that's what Blizzard wanted her to be, but she's simply not. I would be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if they didn't have internal builds of Orisa where the shield deployed in front of Orisa and she moved forward like Reinhardt, and they probably thought we can't do this because it's too similar to Reinhardt. I'd be very surprised if they didn't have that, because if she did do that, she would be much more competitive with Reinhardt, because her problem is the barrier can go down, but it cannot move. You have to work around the barrier. Now, this footage you're seeing in the background here, it's on the PTR, right? So the teams are absolutely garbage. This means people are just generally picking DPS, or they're just picking the heroes that have changed. Maybe they've got no experience. A lot of and people's from all different skill levels as well. You know, I've been in games where I've been playing with like silver players. It's like, what is going on? No disrespect to silver players, but obviously I'm probably much better than them on almost every hero. It's kind of a bit mishmash, so you can't actually test it in that regard. But what you can do is look at the way the heroes are being changed by Blizzard and then sort of predict the path they want to take them down. So let's just go back to the comparison with the other tanks. If you look at Orisa, right, why is Orisa and Reinhardt combos not a thing? I thought this could have easily have been a thing because it's very strong at holding choke points, right? This you can see here, Hannah Moore on defense. Hilariously, we don't have a healer because this is PTR. But imagine if you had a Reinhardt here, right? I even made a video on this back in the day. Reinhardt and Orisa interchanging barriers. It's a pretty much impenetrable barrier. And now with the buffs to Orisa, it would be even better. So why don't we see it? See, the problem is, you just walk past Orisa. You just walk past Orisa, and then she's completely screwed. A lot of Overwatch right now is centered around what is known as dive comp. So that is rapid, fast attack team build. So basically, you're just diving into the enemy, diving straight onto the objective, or diving onto them really quick. This means heroes like Orisa that rely on a static defensive position are not that great. This is why Reinhardt is way better in that regard, because he can just move. He is the defensive position. Orisa isn't. She deploys it and then moves away, and that is a major issue. But anyway, Roadhog, let's talk about potency, because I think this is a super interesting thing. If you look at Reinhardt and you look at Roadhog, I know Roadhog is not a main tank, but he's in the tank category, and you look at Orisa, what do all of these heroes do? What I'm choking. What do they all have, ladies and gentlemen? That is a very potent, powerful ability. Well, Roadhog's got a hook. You get hooked, you're dead, right? Reinhardt pins you, you're dead. Yeah, pretty much all of the time, unless you get a Zarya shield on you, but the same would apply to a Roadhog hook. What about Orisa? Orisa's going to tickle you with a billion shots, which are actually quite difficult to aim with because of the projectile nature of them, so that you have to sort of lead your shots in, which is... It is slightly an annoying playstyle, to be honest. But then she's got a mini graviton surge, which is, on paper, a friggin' amazing ability. I think it's got some issues. I think it travels a bit too slow. So you often see this thing coming and you just move out of the way. If it travelled a bit faster, it might be better. If you were, maybe it had a bigger range or something, I don't know, it might be better. The problem with it is, though, it's map specific. You would have seen me in these clips in the background here where I tried to pull people off the edge on Iconvolt. I mean, Iconvolt's not a great map for this, right? There's only like literally 2 or 3 places you can try and do it. I mean, okay, admittedly, on the bridge going into the castle, that's probably a good area if you can get some shots off there. But a lot of the time, people are going to be aware of it. So it's very map specific. It's kind of like Pharah's Concussion Blast, although her Concussion Blast is way better because it travels much faster and it catches you off guard. This thing doesn't. It's a massive green orb that flies towards you and you're like, oh, it's the mini grav, so you just move away and you often don't get killed by it. I mean, the only time I've ever used this effectively in a game, and I think this is by far the best Orisa map, is Nepal Sanctum. You can use that mini grav on that map and you can do some right work. That's probably her strongest point, which hilariously, Junkrat, which is my favourite character, I'll have you know, ladies and gentlemen, he's really strong on that point as well. But Orisa can be super strong on that point because of the massive hole, and she can grab you off, and her setting up the defensive bunker position is fine because she can see pretty much all of the map, so she can just keep working from that position, and that's cool. So let's just bring this all back. Let's bring this back to potency. Let's bring this back to tank effectiveness. Let's bring this back to who Orisa is compared to and where Orisa is going to go and what Blizzard are actually trying to do with Orisa. So it's clear they don't want her doing as much damage, which I'm cool with, right? Orisa is a main tank in a sense, right? She's a Winston or a Reinhardt, yeah? And those are heroes that can, yes, do a lot of damage in certain situations, but they're not just pumping out tons of damage. That's what Orisa was doing. She was just pumping out damage and absorbing a pretty decent amount of damage. Problem is, when she sets a bunker up, you can just move around it. Like, it's really easy to just walk around like, no, Orisa, we're not going to deal with you. Also, Orisa herself, without the shield, and without a fortify ability, is very weak. Whereas a Reinhardt caught out of position, yes, he's probably going to die, but he's very durable and he can be healed back up because he doesn't have a headshot hitbox the size of the moon, although admittedly, Orisa's has been reduced slightly, so it's not as bad as it was. So what is the problem? What is all of this about? Orisa is in a very weird position. In a lot of ways, you can compare her to Sombra. If you look at Sombra, Sombra is a hero that when she was launched, I thought had a brilliant skill set, but it was quite obvious she was going to be very difficult to fit into the game. Like, how do you fit a hero like that into this game? And it's took a lot of revisions and a lot of stuff that Blizzard didn't want to do. I mean, and they haven't done, don't get me wrong. They didn't want to increase her damage, and they haven't done that. Like, I was like, just make her do more damage, then she'll be usable. But they didn't want to do that. They wanted to advocate for the utility of this hero. She's a hacker. She's not like a tracer, for example. And I think she's in a pretty good position right now, and it's took a long time to get there. What we're starting to see now with Orisa is the same sort of thing. These very minor changes, which are going to take Orisa down a path where Blizzard thinks she'll work. Because remember, it doesn't matter what kind of internal testing Blizzard do. It doesn't matter who, like, they collect data from on the PTR or all of that stuff, right? They can only tell how effective a hero will be when it's played on live. PTR has loads of issues. You can't test balance on PTR. All you can do on PTR is predict the future based off the changes that you can see, and you can basically test, like, make sure it works, like the game doesn't break. That's all PTR is for. The game has to go live for them to collate this data, which is what they're doing now, which is why we're starting to see Orisa go down this more defensive path, I think, because quite clearly they want her to be in a role like Reinhardt. I assume they would like her to be selectable instead of Reinhardt. But this is the thing which we keep coming back to in this video. Why would you take the Orisa instead of the Reinhardt? Yes, you can take both if you want to in a game, but then you would be taking a potential slot away from like a Roadhog, for example, or even a Zarya, who would have way more utility than the Orisa would have. Yeah, I think the only time you would get value from an Orisa right now, and even if when these changes go live, is the surprise element of it. It's like, oh god, we've got an Orisa. But even then, how is it really a surprise? It's like you walk around the corner, oh, there's an Orisa or whatever. You will have noticed in this footage in the background, the barriers seem to last quite a long time, and I'm always dropping down a new barrier. That would not happen in a proper competitive game. The barrier would get obliterated really quick. It's only 900 HP. Yeah, that's a lot of health, don't get me wrong, right? It's not 2000 like Rein's. I mean, it's never going to be the same value as Reinhardt's because he's like, that has to remain how it is. But on live, the barrier will get shredded pretty quick. So this change is good, and it will let you bring the barriers back up. But I think it's still going to be pretty much removed. And as soon as the barrier is gone, Orisa is very slow moving. Orisa is very easy to kill by a lot of other heroes. She's got a lot of problems, really. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to let me know in the comments below what you think about Orisa. I've gone into quite a lot of detail in this video because I do like the tanks, and I've been playing quite a lot of Orisa on the PTR, and I do like Orisa for what she is. I just think that she doesn't fit into the game very well at the moment, and there are so many other heroes you would take instead of the Orisa, which again opens up an entirely other argument about, you know, who the hell should we, like, does it even matter that Orisa's not viable all of the time? We're never going to be able to hit a balance period like that where every hero is playable all of the time. There will always be better heroes than other heroes. That's just a fact of Overwatch. But Orisa must be seeing pretty shockingly low playtime, because I honestly hardly ever see her in the games that I play. I've played her maybe once or twice in competitive, if that, because I'll just play the Reinhardt because I know it is a better pick almost all of the time. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. Let me know what you think about this in all the comments below. Follow me on Twitter as well, guys, which is @UnitLostGaming. You can check out the Discord, which actually I'll put a link to in the description below. We've got an absolutely massive Discord channel. It's probably about time I started promoting this a little bit, to be fair. Get in there. I talk in there. It's pretty funny. I like doing the at here command to just make everybody start talking. It's quite funny. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Toodaloo.